Hugh, hi, how are you?
Good, man.
G'day.
G'day.
You're
Very
no
good.
stranger to playing roles that are physically demanding on you and your body and whatnot. But rather than fighting the forces of evil this time around with iron claws coming out of your fists, you are in the outback of Australia. How was that for you, being in your own backyard, so to speak?
Mate, it was unbelievable. We were in parts of Australia that I would say 99% of Australians don't go to. I know people going to the film are going to say, oh, great, let's go there. It's not easy. We actually had to build a road at one point. Fox had to sign off on building a road before the wet season came in, so months before. And that road itself was a major undertaking. The logistics of this film were extraordinary. To be out there, and I'll never forget, we got there and we drove an hour and a half to set, and that was meant to be the deal. You drive to set, we start at sunrise, we finish at sunset, you drive back. So we drove there, we worked the first day. Sunset came, they said, okay, Hugh, car's ready, you better go because we've got to get you back next morning. And I said, I'm not going. And they said, what? I said, I'm just staying here. And about 2 months later, I never left the set.
Really?
No, I just stayed in my trailer. My son stayed with me most of the time. My wife would come out, in and out. We had a campfire every night.
Fantastic.
And there's about 8 of us who lived out there. We'd crack a couple of beers every night. And I think, why would I be getting back in the car? This was
great.
Unbelievable country.
And I mean, this must hold. This must be very personal to you as well, obviously, being Australian and whatnot. And
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's added. There's a whole lot added to it. It becomes more personal. Really, though, the movie is not so much about Australia any more than Casablanca is about Casablanca. It's a metaphor for the faraway Australia, and this is kind of an international story. It was called Australia for the same reason Lawrence of Arabia is called that, or Out of Africa, or Casablanca. These things evoke something that are true to the story or the characters. It's for Nicole's character, the idea of getting away from everything she knows and everything that's safe and going to this place that is so foreign and challenging, where she has this experience, where she comes to know herself. But both Nick and I were extra nervous. I mean, if we got it wrong, we're going to be strip searched by customs every time we walked in, every time we went into the country, you know.
well, you talk about the staying on the location for months on, or days on end, months on end with your sons and whatnot. So I want to go back to what it's been like on set. I've heard a rumor that 15 people, or 15 couples rather, got pregnant on this trip.
15 kids.
15?
14 of which are girls, so there's something in that.
Wow.
Well, it could have a lot to say about how long we shot the film for.
Yeah.
Or the fact we were in very remote locations and there was a little alcohol involved. It's a crew after all.
So you sort of sit around going, what should we do now, honey?
Beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
Not much else. No internet, no TV.
Well, talking of sunsets, but, there's a lot of romance involved in the movie as well. And of course, with Baz Luhrmann, he's very off the cusp. And, imagine he'd see a sunset and go, right, guys, Nicole, Hugh, get over here. Do a kissing scene.
That is, by the way, exactly how it is.
Was it really?
Exactly.
So you could have just been in your trailer relaxing or whatnot.
Well, you're never in a trailer because the trailer's about,
2 miles down the road.
Yeah, exactly. At least 2 miles down the road. But there's one scene we did where we just crossed the Currumbin. It's that scene where we go through dust storms and we're painted in white and they put stuff on our lips to make them look cracked and dry and chafed. And it's a kind of gooey white substance. It's not nice to have on. And the other thing about it is it's kind of got a sugar in it, so flies are attracted to it. So the whole thing is not very romantic. And then the sun goes down. And this scene is totally unrelated. And the sun went down and it was the most beautiful sunset. And I could hear Baz. We'd just finished the scene and Baz goes, roll film, roll film. And I looked at Nick and she looked at me and she goes, he's not, is he? He said, all right, Nicole and Hugh and Drover and Sarah, and come in slowly and kiss. And we both looked at each other and kissed all the time, knowing we had this kind of probably flies in between. And
I was going to say, so you both had this chat.
We laughed so much. And I thought, this movie's going to look very romantic, but a lot of the time it was just reality,
Speaking of the reality of being on location, can you talk to me about the horses? 3 horses charging towards you or something in the corral, and I think you'd still had your microphone on. And
yeah, there's one scene where I had to ride 200 wild horses. We call them brumbies, and they were from that area. They were wild horses, and they were flying, and we were absolutely flying. And I looked out, there was dust everywhere, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw that a whole lot of the horses, I wasn't sure how many, but at least half of them, had broken through the fence and had gone off to the right and were gone. I mean, gone. And I'm thinking, oh, mate, where... Anyway, so I'm carrying on with the scene, thinking there's cameras picking us up all over the place. As the dust cleared, the other half of the horses had obviously realised their mates were onto a great idea, and they decided to go from the corral, turn around, and at full gallop were coming straight towards me. And on either side of me, one was the fence for the corral, and one was a building. And not much bigger than the size of this room was this gap that about 100 horses were coming at me. It was kind of like the running of the bulls, but with 100 bulls, right? And I'm staring right at it, and I did have my microphone on, and there were a lot of expletives. My horse immediately reared up. I first thought the horse was going to go right over the back because my horse was freaking out. And I just hunkered him down, and I literally closed my eyes, swore, and apparently, and the horses just at the last second went like that. And the moment they went, my horse turned and bolted, and I just jumped off my horse, and I thought, well, that was about as close as I've gotten.
Oh, well, to be a fly on the wall or on your lips. Hugh, we're out of time, but thank you very, very much.
Nice wrap up. I like that.